right, there we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned into our live broadcast around the country. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. You see, we are going to spend the next 45 minutes together or so. I'm going to go through our business, a little bit of background on us, what the business proposition is all about, and after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. Okay, so let's begin. As you can see, DuePoint is a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We have been around for almost 70 years, since 1952, so a very long time. That's our building in the background in Randburg, so this division doesn't share offices with Constantia. The FSP number is that one that you see over there. That's very important because that's our license to operate in financial services within South Africa. You'll notice outside above the water cooler in the foyer, we've got all our FSB licenses on display. So go take a look at those because we take credibility very seriously, and I need to make sure that you trust the business we're going to be speaking about. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, we've got our FSP license on display. We've also got our accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. So you are welcome to go look at those, scrutinize them, make sure they are legitimate. The executives and the managers here at DuePoint are these people up on screen. So the first three characters are registered chartered accountants. Starting with Mr. Benfield, who you probably saw in the foyer this evening. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his family have been involved in insurance and financial services all his life. His father started Clientele Life and the IFA, among a host of other businesses around South Africa and in Europe. They've also helped found businesses in Australia, so they've had a lot of success in the space. Brendan and his brother Stuart went on with their father to found a business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, who are now the fourth biggest short-term insurer in the country. So they've had a lot of success. We've got great financial pedigree in Mr. Benfield. Tim and Stacey, they look after the financial and the auditing, some of the regulatory requirements in our business, fairly important. And then the two non-accountants, Jane and myself. Jane is very experienced in referral network marketing, and that's pretty important to a business like this, because even though we're an insurance company, the remuneration model and the marketing model that we've adopted is network marketing. And so Jane's experience is very important to us. She's from the UK, so she brings international experience with her to this business. And then myself, I've been working in advertising for over 20 years. I ran my own agency for about 15 years, fairly successfully. We didn't retrench anybody in the 15 years. I can deem it to be successful, I think. So that's a bit of background on us and the business. I think I mentioned that we are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange, so if you want to do further investigation about this business, we are listed under a group called Conduit Capital. All right, so very briefly, I'm just going to discuss the circumstance that we find ourselves in. I know the people sitting here in this presentation room, I would assume that all of you are looking for something extra. You are perhaps tired of the economy, tired of your salary, in belief that it's probably going nowhere, and you're trying to mitigate that risk by looking for an additional income opportunity. This is because of the circumstance that we find ourselves in South Africa, because one, of the economy, two, because of the economy, a lot of people have adopted debt and taken on debt. We find ourselves in a debt cycle that we are unable to get out of. Because when you have the cost of living, when you have inflation increasing or at a rate that's higher than what your salary is increasing by every year, and you can do a very quick check with yourself. You can ask yourself, well, have I got a 5, 6, 7% increase in my salary for the last 8 years? If the answer to that is no, your salary is actually devalued against what the cost of living is. So you'll be feeling that at the end of the month, because you'll be thinking, geez, costs, petrol, travel, groceries are getting so expensive, I'm struggling to keep up. That is a picture of South Africa's economy. And if your salary isn't going to increase to help you get out of that debt cycle, there's no prospect to get out of the debt cycle. It comes to a head when you get to retirement, because the 45 years that you work is a period that serves you to put a pension fund together to give you a dignified retirement. And if you aren't in that position, you're going to get to retirement like the majority of South Africans, where you become or deemed financially dependent, which is about 90% of South Africans that get to retirement. And so this presentation is about an opportunity that can potentially change that circumstance. And so as a business, Constantia saw the opportunity a couple of years ago. We formed this division called DuePoint. We launched the DuePoint system in February 2016. We have a couple of aspirations beyond just creating additional income. So you might be thinking, well, I'm just here to make extra money. But what we want to do is actually change the way you think about creating money. Because what the presentation is about, or what the opportunity is about, what the business is about creating wealth. And you cannot create wealth if you still keep thinking the same way about money, because you'll make the same mistakes, right? And so one of our first aspirations for people in this business is for people to aspire to becoming debt-free. So you might be thinking, well, that's a great aspiration, but I'm going to do what I want with my money. Who wants to become wealthy? Right? No one in the front row wants to become wealthy. Only the people at the back. Right? 2 hands up. Everyone wants to become wealthy. Can you become wealthy if you owe other people money? No. And so it goes without saying. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. You can pay a 20-year bond off in 10 years. You can pay a 5-year installment on a car in 2 years. Why take the entire length of the contract that you have with a financial service provider? You can do it faster. Get rid of it as quickly as possible, because the faster you get rid of the debt, the sooner you can start focusing on creating wealth. Our final aspiration in the business is to just be happier. We want people in this business to be happier with their circumstance. Because I promise you, if you've got no debt in your life, if you're only creating wealth through the ownership of assets and investments that appreciate, do you think you're going to be happier at the end of the month? You will be. Because you won't get an SMS at the end of the month from the bank that has got 20 debit orders in one SMS. Right? Do you not cringe a little bit when you get that SMS at the end of the month? You get your salary SMS, and then 2 minutes after the salary SMS, the debit order SMSs start happening, right? We want to get rid of the debit order SMSs. Right? So those are aspirations for the people in this business beyond just creating additional income. How does this business work? It is very straightforward. It is simple. Our guests here this evening, you have the opportunity to join this business called DuePoint. You will enter into contract with us. And when I say contract, I don't mean we're signing you in for 2 years, 5 years, 20 years. It just means there's a contract that exists between you and ourselves. And once you join this business, we refer to you as wealth engineers, because that's really what you're here to do. And as wealth engineers, you have a single task, just one task in this business, only one. And that is to build what we call a channel of distribution. Building a channel of distribution is you connecting other people to DuePoint. That's all you have to do. There's no selling involved in this business. If you are successful in introducing other people to this business opportunity, and our online platform can facilitate the sale of products to those people, that is how this business works. If you are successful in that process, you get to create additional income for yourself. What's important to note is the income that you produce here is what we refer to as recurring income. You'll hear a lot of entrepreneurs and people that talk about creating second lines of income talk about passive income. Have you heard about passive income? Right? It's the same thing as recurring income. I prefer my father's description of it. He said it, or he tried to describe it to me when I was a lot younger. He said it's the ability to make money while you're sleeping. I had no idea what he was talking about, because I think I was about 12 when he tried to explain it to me. But I cottoned on a lot later. When I started my own business, I started to realize the power of recurring income. The problem is, as salary earners, so if you're an employee, you are stuck in active income. You get paid for the time that you spend at work. No more, typically no less, right? In creating recurring income, you get to create income beyond your effort and time. It is very powerful. It is something that is inherent to companies like insurance companies. My father's a gold miner, right? He works on the gold mines. That's active income. You've got to dig the rock out of the ground before you make any income. He doesn't make any money next month for the rock he brought out of the ground this month. You don't get paid for a salary for the work that you did last month, right? It is similar, recurring income, to owning an asset. If you own property, additional property, not the house you stay in, a second house, and you rented that second house out, that is recurring income. You don't have to build the house. You don't have to clean the house all the time. It's an asset that brings in income. It's recurring income. This is what this business does. It allows you to share in that recurring income. The system has been built with leverage in mind, so that's the power of duplication. It is the ability to duplicate yourself or to clone yourself. It is another wonderful thing. Would you rather be a salesperson that earns money off of your sole efforts 8 hours a day, or would you rather be a sales director that gets a little bit of commission off of every salesperson that you have in your team? Which one? The second, the latter, right? Why? Because as a sales director, you can double your sales team next month and earn twice as much. If you're only earning off of your own effort, you can't duplicate yourself, right? And so you want to share in this thing called the power of duplication. I will illustrate live examples, real life examples to you later in the presentation to show you what I mean by that. The business is flexi time. You get to decide how this business fits into your life. That's another great thing. Right? You can decide to do this business in the evenings, before you go to work, at lunchtimes, on the weekends. It is up to you. It is a decision that you need to make, and it's a decision that you need to keep yourself accountable to if you want to be successful in this business. No startup capital. We don't have these exorbitant starter kits that you have to buy or boxes of product that you have to buy. We don't have these joining fees that you have to partake in. We've designed this business and the system to be as low risk as possible so that it's accessible to everyday South Africans. We're not trying to fleece anybody here. We are trying to change our economy and the society that we live in. We don't care about qualifications or experience. So I don't care whether you've got matric or not, whether you've got work experience or not, whether you're a housewife, whether you've got a degree, whether you don't have a degree. It does not matter to us. What matters to us is work ethic and how much time you're going to decide to invest into this business. And I'm hoping that you're going to decide to invest a lot of time into the business, because what you're building here, this channel of distribution that you're building, you have legal tender over. It means you have ownership over your channel of distribution. You can sell your channel of distribution one day. Your channel of distribution, if it's producing recurring income, that recurring income will carry on paying you beyond retirement. In an economy like ours, my wife's a labor litigator for the largest private employer in the country. They start eyeing people out that start getting close to 60 because they want to get rid of staff, right? So instead of just retrenching people, they go, oh, you're looking quite old. Don't you want to take early retirement? What happens when your income ends at 58 or 59 or 60? My father's in his early 70s. He's just signed a 20-year contract with his mining company. Lucky for him, right? He works for a Chinese company. They don't believe in retirement. They work you till you die. Right? Lucky for him. Because if he was told, sorry, you're out of a job 12, 13 years ago, he would be in deep trouble. This business will carry on paying you beyond 60, beyond 70. This business will carry on paying you beyond death. Who would like to pass wealth on to their children? Can I tell you statistically that the majority of you will pass debt onto your children? Mark my words now. Statistically, the majority of the people sitting in this room will pass debt onto their children. That's what happens in South Africa at the moment. We need to change that circumstance. You should be happy to invest time into building a business that you have ownership over. There's no selling involved at DuePoint. This is great. Who wants to sell insurance products to their friends on weekends? No? All you're going to be doing is you're going to be connecting people to the business opportunity that exists here at DuePoint. It is probably the #1 commodity that exists in South Africa, is financial opportunity. You're going to tell people that want to earn money about DuePoint. As simple as that. I and Brenda and myself will do the rest. I will speak to them about the business and the products. You just connect them to us. Whether it's here at head office or over the live stream or video on YouTube or a video on a USB stick, connect any way you want to, right? That's your single task. There's no selling involved. The nature of our products are intangible. That is another benefit. Because like I said, we don't have boxes of product. You don't have to bring a bucky tonight knowing that you're going home with 40 kilograms of milkshakes, right? Our products don't expire. They don't take up space at home. We don't have any of the stock and distribution issues of tangible products. And so the products in themselves are very convenient. But your success in our business is dependent on your ability to build a channel of distribution. It starts with you. So you become a wealth engineer. You consider and take out one of our products. And you are going to go out and connect other people to this business. If the people that you connect to the business decide to become wealth engineers, and if they take out one of our products, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution, right? So you've introduced, in this example, 5 people into the business. Now your business is going to take on a life of its own, whether you like it or not. That is the power of duplication. You'll have this organic growth that now takes place, right? Beyond your efforts. That is leverage. Because after a certain amount of time, this is what your channel could look like. You are being paid for every single product owner that you see in this business, even though you only introduced 5 people to it. That's what you want to focus on, is building this channel of distribution. If you want to be discerning, right, so it might sound simple, but you have to be discerning in the process. You can't go out and just bring anybody into the business, because we've got 10 million unemployed people out there. Everybody wants, right? You have to be discerning in terms of finding people that you know, one, can at least afford one of our products, 2, that have the resources to thrive in a business like that, or like this. Because if you find quality people in the beginning, it means that that quality will spread into your channel. If you find people that don't have the resources, that can't pay the product, you're going to build a weak business, and your business will collapse. My hope is that you'll build a sustainable business so that you can walk away from traditional employment if you want to. You'll be in the position one day, if you're earning enough recurring income to support yourself on a monthly basis, in 5, 6, 7, 10 years' time, you can take a 3-month holiday. Right? Because recurring income pays you while you're sleeping. You don't have to go to work. That's my hope for you, that you'll have that opportunity. You'll be able to liberate yourself away from traditional employment that has got so many constraints. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. You'll be warned. So I guess this is actually a legitimate fear. Who arrived to the presentation thinking I've been invited to one of these presentations? You know what I mean when I say one of these presentations, right? I used to be scared of those when I was in my 20s. People used to whisper about, oh, have you been invited to one of those presentations? We are not one of those businesses. This is an authentic business entrepreneurial opportunity. We're not one of those schemes. There are hundreds, there are probably even thousands of schemes floating around South Africa, right? Probably your hardest job when you go out and connect people to this business opportunity is to get them to trust you, because that's how many schemes are floating around. We are a listed company. We would never jeopardize our reputation. We've got reputable people involved in this business, and we're nearly 70 years old, right? So I hope I've allayed your fear that this is a scheme, for number 1. Number 2, Brendan and myself will never say to you that success comes easily. Never. I won't tell anyone in this room, oh, you're going to be rich quickly in this business, right? That puts you in a bit of a sticky position. How many people here are willing to get rich slowly? 3 of you, right? The rest of you want to get rich quickly. Do you know what they call that? A get-rich-quick scheme. Those are the schemes that promise you wealth and success quickly. And they tell you that you should invest thousands now. Invest the thousands now. Guys, we need to be aware and discerning when we look at these businesses, right? Work on your wealth slowly. You have all the time in the world, and this business has got lots of room for failure. You don't have to put your pressure on yourself to become rich in the first month, right? Work on it. It's that slight edge rule. Just make sure you're progressing a little bit. We're all happy with 5% increase in our salary a year, but what happens if this business gives you 5% extra income a month? Do you know that some people still walk away from that? Right? This is my disclaimer slide, my warning slide. No one's walked out, so I think you're all still in the game, yeah? All right, let's talk about how you earn in this business. Let me quickly go over our products. So like any other financial services business, we've got products. We've got 3 products. The benefits are all financial in nature, and they are very straightforward products. So our first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand will get invested into a tax-free investment fund that sits with Sanlam. And then on top of that investment, we give you 120,000 Rand personal accident cover. So if you have this investment in place and you're killed in a car accident, for example, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand. So it's investment with a little bit of insurance. Access Wealth. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is only insurance, so there's no investments, just insurance. It's going to cost you 249 Rand a month, but this time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Now note I say personal accident cover. I'm not calling it life insurance. I'm not calling it funeral cover, right? Because there's a difference. This product only pays out in the event of death through accident. Now you might be thinking, well, that's not a great benefit. Let me tell you what the beauty of this product is. The beauty of this product is that it becomes accessible to everybody over the age of 18. You can be 70 years old, you can be diabetic, you can have heart problems, you can have cancer in your family, the premium remains the same and the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. We don't discriminate depending on your health risk to the business, right? That's the beauty of WealthGuard. 249 Rand, 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The third product is called Wealth Points. Wealth Points will cost you 299 Rand a month, and what this product aims to do is to save you money on the money that you're spending every month, anyway. So if you look at the list of partners that we have here, we've gone to these businesses and negotiated discounts with them that we share with our Wealth Points partners. So if you look at the list, I bet you spend money with at least one of those businesses. Right? So for example, always on Wi-Fi data, they've got 2,500 hotspots around the country. If you want to buy data from them, typically if you wanted to buy a gig, they would charge you 100 Rand for a gig of data. But if you're on Wealth Points, they'll only charge you 37 Rand. Right? So do you understand? You get discounts with these partners. We've got pretty much everything covered. We've got groceries, online retailers, data. We've got car manufacturers. Jaguar Land Rover Santon is a brand new partner that we've just added in the last couple of months. Anyone in line to buy a new Range Rover? 2 people. Okay, there's a couple of people that decided they would do one Range Rovers, right? So you'll go to Jaguar Land Rover Santon. They'll give you the best price in the country and the best service. All right, so this is how Wealth Points works. We are adding new partners to this product all the time, and we've got a very exciting partner in the pipeline. So hopefully in the next month or two, we'll be announcing that. So those are the products. If you have any questions, come speak to me. There's more information on our website. What separates us from other financial businesses is our business model, particularly our remuneration model to our wealth engineers. So traditional insurance companies spend a massive amount of their budgets on marketing and advertising. At DuePoint, we don't spend a cent on marketing and advertising. We depend on our wealth engineers to connect people to DuePoint, and that's how we grow our business in South Africa's market. Right? We don't have to spend the billions that the insurance industry typically spends every year on advertising. We can take that portion of our budget and attribute it to what we call our returns and rewards program. That's how you earn in the business, through these 2 programs, returns and rewards. So let's talk about the returns program. The returns program is the recurring income that you will create for yourself every single month. It is the most important thing. It is more important than the rewards program. So this is our primary task. We want to create recurring income because there's so much power in that. We pay you a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product you have in your channel. So remember that diagram, the slide with all the dots on? You're potentially earning 27.50 Rand for every single dot that you saw on that slide every single month going forward, right? It is dependent on where the product lies in relation to you. So those first 5 individuals that you introduced to DuePoint successfully, we call that your first point because it's 1 point away from you. And if you look at the table, you see that we actually pay you double the 27.50 Rand on your first point. You're actually earning 55 Rand for every product every single month. As your channel grows organically now, on your second point, again you earn 55 Rand for every product on your second point. And then as the channel starts to grow outwards, the multiplier starts to drop all the way down to 4% at the 8th point, right? So at the 8th point, we don't limit you there. That's why there's a little plus here next to the 8. Because already in 24 months, we've got people that have grown their channels to 0.30. We don't limit you at 0.8. From 0.8, you will carry on earning the 4% of the 27.50 Rand, in theory, into infinity. Right? If you can build a channel of 30 points wide in 24 months, what are you going to do in 20 years? So there's no limitation on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. The size of your channel is dependent on the amount of time and effort that you want to put into this business. Right? So this is the mechanics of the returns. Typically, the question we get always is, well, how much do people earn in this business? How quickly can I get rich? That's the real question. Right? How quickly can I be rich? So what we did when we launched the business was we put together this projection. We call it the path to success. It is a projection over the next 5 years. Has everybody got a 5-year plan? Do you know where you want to be in 5 years? I'm going to help you now as well. I'm going to show you where you can be in 5 years, right? So we start out. The premise of this projection is that you can bring 3 people into the business, into your channel, in your first month. And every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring 2 new people into your business every single month. If you can follow that growth formula, we call it 3 plus 2. It's 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 into perpetuity. If you can follow that growth formula, after 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand in recurring income. Now, who's bitterly disappointed with that projection? See, you want to be rich sooner, right? And I had the same reaction. When I saw the projection first, the accountants came up with this. I said, geez, 2,500 rand after 6 months of work. Can we not put in a bigger growth model or something that's a little more attractive, right? And they said no. But after time, what I learned was I make the mistake. Remember at the beginning of the presentation, I said I want you to think differently about money so we don't make the same mistakes? Do you know what mistake we make? We all think like consumers. How does a consumer think? If I put 2,500 rand under everybody's chair here in the room tonight, right? I felt like Oprah. I said everyone's getting 2,500 rand. How long, honestly, would the 2,500 rand last in your wallets or your handbag or your purse? Right? Maybe finished by tonight, right? You might be a rock star tonight with your friends. So maybe a day or two. That's exactly how consumers think. We look at the value of money from its spending power, right? If you are prioritizing wealth and investing, you don't look at money like that. You look at money and you go, how can I make the money work for me? I'm going to show you how 2,500 rand can work for you, because I know everybody in this room has got debt. So yeah, I've got someone with a lot of debt, 1 million rand in the form of a bond, right, that they entered into. So if you're my age, 40, and you enter into a bond now, that bond at prime plus 2 would be costing me 11,500 rand a month for 20 years. I've got to pay that before I become a homeowner. I'll become a homeowner finally when I'm 60 and I'll make that last installment. But at 40, I joined DuePoint, and 6 months later, I'm earning this little 2,500 rand. And instead of spending the money, I decide to pay my debt off faster. I put the 2,500 rand as an additional payment into that bond. What is the net effect of that? Do you think it's got any great effect? Do you think you'll benefit beyond just saving 2,500 rand? Let me tell you how it does more than just save you 2,500 rand every month. It'll halve the term of your bond. Instead of taking 20 years to pay that house off, you can do it in 11 and a half years with just putting in an extra 20% into your bond. That will save you, in effect, nearly 1 million rand in interest that you would have paid to the bank. 2,500 rand a month for 11 years has just saved you 1 million rand in cash. At 12 months, you're earning nearly 9,000 rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 rand a year. Did anyone get a 100,000 rand bonus from their employers this year? No? How about you came to DuePoint once a year, December, just before Christmas, and picked up a 100,000 rand check every year? Not once off, every single year for the rest of your life. Every year. It's recurring income here. It's not once off income. That's 12 months away. At 24 months, you'll be earning nearly 30,000 rand a month. Right? Now the number's getting bigger, all of a sudden. Right? Tell me when the number gets too big, because it's going to get too big for some people. They're not going to relate to it. Right? Keep going. 36 months, you're earning nearly 50,000 rand a month. You want to look at a debt example again? At the 30-month mark, we've got an example of someone with a 5 million rand debt. A 5 million rand bond, you're earning about 36,000 rand per month. The quandary that you're in is that you can take that 36,000 rand, think like a consumer, and finance a brand new Range Rover. Think what it must feel like to pull out of the Range Rover garage in a brand new Range Rover. Wouldn't it feel good? Or would you rather take the money and pay your bond off faster? Be honest. Take the money. Take the money where? Right? That's the decision. That's the difficulty that in the decision that I have to make every single day. I'm a car fanatic. I'd buy the Range Rover in a second. But if you decide to put the money into a 5 million rand bond, you'll pay a 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years. At the age of 47, I'll be a homeowner of a 5 million rand house. I pay my debt off, and now I can focus on creating wealth. So I decide I'm going to invest in property. I buy another 5 million rand house. And I pay that off at the age of 54. I buy a third house. I pay that off at the age of 61. Brendan now says, I'm too old to give presentations anymore. I can't connect with the young people in the audience. And he sends me out to pasture retired. I go home to a house I paid off 14 years ago. I own 2 investment properties that I'm earning 60,000, 70,000 a month in recurring income, plus what DuePoint's paying me in year 20. That is the retirement I want for wealth engineers. And that is what you need to envision for yourself, because you can only make a decision today if that's what you want in 20 years' time. We keep going. At 48 months, you're close to 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, you are you have created for yourself about R1 million in annual recurring income. Imagine coming to our office and picking up a R1 million check every Christmas. See, I lost almost all of you thinking, oh, R1 million a year. Now he's talking rubbish. Right? This is academic. It is theory. 3 plus 2, 2 every month. We've got people that join this business that do nothing. They join the business wanting to make money, and they do nothing. I don't understand it. We've got people that do less than 3 plus 2. We've got people that do 3 plus 2, and we've got people that do more than 3 plus 2. And I'll show them to you. Because if you think this is purely academic, I'm going to show you people that do it, that are earning more. They're on their way to more than R1 million a year in 5 years' time, whether you want to believe that or not. So you go to Lenchau, he's 22 years old. He's got a 5-year plan, right? He joined 5 months ago. The value of his channel is already sitting at close to 5,000 Rand a month. Here's a pop quiz question for everybody. How much money do you have to have in your pension fund to pay yourself out 5,000 Rand in interest a month? That's the question you're going to ask yourself when you get to retirement, because you're going to look at your retirement fund and go, this is the interest that I'm going to get out of the fund that I've created. This is the money that I have to live on. How much money do you need to generate 5,000 Rand a month in interest every month? How much money do you need in your account? R1 million. Lenchau created the equivalent of R1 million in a bank account in the space of 5 months. You want to look at leverage and the power duplication? He only introduced 8 people into his business. The size of his business is sitting at 135 people. That is the power of duplication, right? The power of network marketing, referral marketing, call it what you want. Here we've got Sidwell. I think he's from Kempton, joined 10 months ago. The value of his channel is also almost at 5,000 Rand a month. We've paid him out almost 16,000 Rand already in the space of 10 months. He's got 144 people in his business. He introduced 8. Here we got Donnie. Donnie joined our business the day we launched, on the 6th of February 2016. He's been in the business for 2 years and 2 months. The value of his channel sitting at 25,000 a month. 1,300, over 1,300 people in his business. He introduced 94. We've got thousands of people joining this business every single month. Everyone is running a different race. You need to decide what you want out of this business. No one makes that choice for you. You make that choice. Decide what you want, because it is the only way you can develop a strategy and a plan to get there. Right? I hope your imagination is running wild. Right? That is the only way you change your circumstance, is by believing differently. So what is the decision we really need to make? Is the decision whether you want to have R1 million in recurring income every year? That's not the decision. Everybody wants R1 million extra a year. The decision is, how am I going to fit DuePoint into my life going forward so I can make it happen? That's the realistic decision that you need to make. Right? There's no point in becoming a wealth engineer and not doing anything. This is not a New Year's resolution. It's not a hobby. Right? The business can potentially change your life. For me, that is the decision. Can I really do this business? Do I really want to do it? Remember the warning slide? Who's willing to get wealthy slowly? Because this is a monthly exercise. Getting started is very straightforward. Read our code of conduct, so that's fairly important, because that's that contract I mentioned that we have with you. Register as a wealth engineer. You can do it on our DuePoint website, or you can do it on the mobile app. Takes about 7 minutes. You're a wealth engineer, and you can now start building this business, this channel of distribution that you have ownership over. Complete our online training. Knowledge is power, right? Don't tell me you've done a business like this before and you know what you're doing. Go look at the training that we've created. Set goals for yourself. Is it R1 million that you want? Is it 10,000 Rand a month that you want? Is it 2,500 Rand a month? Doesn't matter what it is, but decide what it is. Write the date that you want to get there, because a goal without a date is not a goal. And then prepare the plan. We can help you with the plan, because we've seen every wealth engineer. We know how much time you have to commit to get to where you want to. And then the basic activity of speaking to people, right? We all speak to people, right? You just have to mention DuePoint. Almost every South African is in need of taking control over their income for once. So getting started is very straightforward. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. It is tools to empower you building your channel of distribution. Please consider getting business cards. For me, that is foremost, right? You might think, well, business cards are a little bit traditional, old-fashioned. It might be, but it works, right? I cannot imagine sitting opposite somebody proposing a business opportunity, and when they say to me, oh, do you have a contact number or name, I tear off the piece of paper on the corner of my diary to write something down for them. Use the business cards, guys. The people that you prospect will sum you up in seconds. The way you dress, the way you speak, the way you approach them. The business cards you have, all of that lends to your success in business, right? Not just this business, any business. We've got memory sticks that have got our intro presentations on here. So if you don't want to use data, you can use the memory sticks. Those pins represent people earning in our business. Only people that are earning in the business can buy those pins, right? Because you don't want to be part of the 0+0 club. So the moment you start earning, make sure you get one of those pins. And never ask advice from somebody who's not wearing a pin. You're asking advice from the 0+0 club, right? So you will see wealth engineers around that are wearing pins. The bigger the pin and the brighter, you know, the more expertise they have in the business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All our videos, all the training, testimonies, everything, the how-to videos, everything is on our YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel is the channel that broadcasts our intro presentations out to the entire country every single day of the week except Sunday, right? So that's 6 days a week that you can tune into a live presentation that we give. Download our mobile app once you become a wealth engineer. The mobile app tells you in real time what's happening in your business. When you wake up in the morning, it'll tell you how much money you made while you were sleeping. Isn't that great? To wake up in the morning, you did nothing yesterday, but you wake up in the morning, your channel grew. Right? That's the leverage. So make sure you download the mobile app. Now, onto our XP rewards program. So what we discussed now was the returns program. Now we're going to discuss the rewards program. The rewards program has got nothing to do with the recurring income, right? The rewards program is the fun that we have here at DuePoint. It is almost like an incentive program. So we designed it to kind of curve behavior and culture in our business. But for you guys, it is an incentive program that's got some wonderful rewards attached to the success in this business. When you start out as a brand new wealth engineer, everything you do as a wealth engineer will earn you what we call XP, experience points. And when you start earning more and more experience points and your business starts to grow, we reward you. Right? So if you start out this evening, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. You can see you're very important. You're not even on the slide. But to get to rank 1 is very straightforward. You only need 1,000 XP. You can do that in 2 minutes. And you need 4 products in your qualified channel. When you meet those 2 criteria, you become a rank 1 wealth engineer, and we give you an extra 55 Rand once off at the end of that month. Right? So all these rewards are typically once-offs. But as you start to rank up, so as you collect more and more XP and your channel starts to grow, the rewards get bigger and better. So there's a 20,000 Rand check, a 50,000 Rand check. We give tools to our wealth engineers to help them build their channels. So at rank 5, you get the special little USB stick. So it doesn't look like that anymore. It's evolved into something a little smaller and faster, but it's got all our videos on there, intro presentations. The beauty of these little sticks that we give out is that they can plug into anything. Phones, tablets, computers, laptops, it doesn't matter. Even TVs nowadays. So you can show the DuePoint intro presentation regardless of what device you have around you. At rank 7, we want to talk about business cards. At rank 7, you're going to get personalized DuePoint business cards like no other person has in the country, because we spent 12,500 Rand on one set of cards. 4 sheets of board get used to make one business card. There's no printing on those cards. There's no ink. They get shipped down to Cape Town. There's an old man in Cape Town, the only person in the country that can do it. I thought we were going to have to get them manufactured in the US, but we found this man who does gold gilding. Remember the Bibles with the gold edges? It's called gold gilding. The cards are gilded in gold on the edges. The logo is foiled in gold. Why would we go to such lengths for business cards? Because when you're sitting opposite somebody and you put down a 12,500 Rand business card on the table, I promise you they will stop and take notice of the DuePoint flashing in their eyes. right? They'll ask you, how do you get business cards like this? Tell me about DuePoint. These are tools to empower you building your channels of distribution. At rank 9, this is our first recurring reward. So I told you all the others were once-offs, but this is actually a recurring one. At rank 9, we invite you, your spouse, and your 2 favorite kids to our rank 9 conference. Not once off, every single year. You will get to enjoy our rank 9 conference for the rest of your life. It is business class trips to an international 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip. Right, so our first one was last December. Let me tell you, I was not expecting the level of the trip that we planned. Right, so we've got an external company that plans these things for us. We've booked the new resort, so a different resort. It's in Mauritius. It is available to every single person in this room. Every single person in this room can get there. The record to get to rank 9, from nothing to rank 9, is 5 months. How many months do we have till December? 8? It's possible, right? But remember, we don't reset your XP. You don't start again at the end of the year. You keep building in the XP Rewards program. Most people will take 2.5 years, 3 years to get to rank 9. But I promise you, it is worth it. At rank 14, you get a second trip added to your year. Imagine going overseas, business class flights, 5-star, a week away, twice a year with your family, every single year for the rest of your life. Imagine how that changes. Not your life, but your children's lives. Right? So have a look, because we documented our last rank 9 trip. This is the resort we were in December. Our rank 9 wealth engineers. It could be you.
When all of your wind has gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Thank you. So that's our rank 9 trip. The next one's in December. We've already booked business class and the flight's going to Mauritius. We've booked the resort. It is up to you to decide if you're going to be one of the wealth engineers that makes it in less than 8 months. Otherwise, we go next year. It's not going away. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying a brand new car for our wealth engineers. There are no T's and C's. We buy the car cash in your name and give you the car. A little bit of fanfare, but there's no branding on the car. You don't have to share the car with another wealth engineer. You don't have to lift club other wealth engineers anywhere with this car. Right? Straightforward, rank 11. At rank 14 is that next trip, is the next international trip. So by the time you're at rank 14, you've got a car you're driving around that you're not paying for. You've got 2 overseas trips with your family every single year for the rest of your life. This is what our XP Rewards program looks like. It is easy to get excited about this, but I hope not more excited than the ability to create recurring income. The power is in the returns program, not in the rewards program. Right? This is just the fun we're going to have along the way. Then we've got a little bit of incentive for this month. So we have what we call these wealth quests that we do every single month. They are different every single month. May's wealth quest is called You're in the Army Now, and we challenge our wealth engineers to be able to rank up in the rewards program. So if you're able to go from 0 to rank 2 this month, or 1 to 3, or 2 to 4, or 3 to 4, you can look at the T's and C's on the website. But if you're able to rank up in the month of May, there's an extra 10,000 Rand waiting for you. 10 grand just like that for a little bit of hard work through May. So this is just to incentivize you through May. Our more experienced wealth engineers have a bigger incentive that we call the 90-day challenge. It started on the 3rd of March. It ends at the end of this month. It is for rank 4s and above only. They were challenged to bring in 5 new rank 2s. So they were challenged to bring 5 new people into the business and develop them into rank 2s. If they could do that, there's an extra 25,000 Rand waiting for them. Right? So if you are ranked 3 or 4, or above, you should be focused on the 90-day challenge. The May Wealth Quest plays into this challenge, right? So they go hand in hand. So be aware of that. Be aware of that, because that'll help you get that extra 25,000 Rand. And if you do this exercise, your recurring income will increase by 6,000 on its own every month in recurring income. So at the end of May, you'll be earning an extra 31,000 Rand. So those are the incentives and challenges that we have on at the moment. On Thursday, we have our Thematic Thursday. It is a slightly different interpretation of our intro presentation, where Brendan deals a lot with the objections that we face in prospecting this type of business. So it's a great presentation. If you can make it, come to our head office. Otherwise, tune into our live stream. But that's happening this Thursday, so be aware of that. So finally, to close off, I invite you to join us at this business, in this business called DuePoint. Who would like to have a year that separates itself from any other year in the past? Who is tired of getting to the end of the year and Facebooking to all our friends and family saying, that was a beep year? Right? Are you not tired of it? Every year in, year out, nothing changes. Right? Come financial year end, oh, you're lucky if you get a 5% increase in your salary. Guys, the only people that can change your circumstance is you. You have to first have belief that you can do it. Engaging in a business like this is a step of faith. I'm going to ask you to take a step of faith. You don't know me. You've probably never heard of DuePoint, but we've designed the business to be as low risk as possible. We're not one of those businesses that are going to go out and fleece you if you fail in this business. Like I said, there is lots of room for failure in this business. But what we want you to do is take a stab. Take a swing, right? See what happens. You can leave this business at any stage. Any stage. We don't sign you into a contract. You can phone client service tomorrow and say, I don't want to do this business. There's nothing wrong with that. But I invite you to try and make 2018 a year that changes your destiny. We are here to support you every step of the way. The amount of money that we've invested in technology has allowed you to do this business in any town in South Africa at any time of the day, right? There's nothing printed in our business. You can do everything offline and online in this business. So if you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards. But I look forward to seeing a lot of faces going forward. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.